ladies. My name is Alicia, and I am here to tell you how I maintain my perfectly okay body, specifically my weight. Now that I'm feeling good about my progress, I thought I'd share my very simple, very sustainable way that I've been taking care of my body. Let me first say that I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. What works for me may not work for you, but hopefully you'll get some value from this video. This is going to be a two-part series. In this video, I'll talk about exercise, and then in the second video, I'll share some thoughts about my diet. The first thing I did before I started was I found out my why, and I wasn't afraid to be petty or superficial about it. I'm sure you've heard that if you want to change your life in some way, you have to figure out your why. But some people act as though it has to be this serious, compelling reason. For example, if you want to lose weight, it's supposed to be something like, oh, I want to improve my health, or I want to be able to play with my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids. But what if you don't have some profound reason for wanting to lose weight? I feel it's okay to be superficial if you need to be. For example, I have an apple-shaped body, which means I don't really have a defined waistline. When I gain weight, it mostly goes to my tummy, then my thighs, then my butt. So up until about 2 years ago, I had never really maintained an exercise schedule. I'd work out here and there, but nothing regular. And I kind of justified that by saying, well, my clothes still fit. I can still button my pants. It's all good. So I never thought I'd say this publicly, but when I put on more weight, even though my dress size is still technically the same, I tend to look pregnant. I'll never forget in 2018, I was riding the L train in Chicago with my friend, and the train was packed, so we had to stand up. And I was wearing kind of a form-fitting top and some shorts. And a lady that was seated in front of me offered me her seat on the train. She never said anything about babies or pregnancy, but I could tell why she offered me that seat. I quickly said no, and I just kept talking to my friend, but I was so embarrassed. So I say all that to say that my major why was and still is simply not to look pregnant anymore. And that's perfectly okay. It ain't gotta be deep. I don't want to be stick thin, but I just don't want people offering me their seats on public transportation because they think I'm with child. I do care about my health, and I'm glad that my health has improved since I've started exercising more, but after I figured out my why, I had to figure out what didn't work in the past and how I could make changes for the future. This time I tried to stay really mindful of which workouts would be best for me and which ones were just time wasters. I wanted to find an exercise that I could do every day, that I could do years and years from now. I also wanted to find something that was free because I'm poor, and something that I could do indoors or outdoors. For me, that is plain old walking. And when the weather's nice, I walk outside, but in Chicago, I tend to hibernate in the wintertime, and I don't have a treadmill. But thanks to workouts on YouTube, I can work out no matter what the weather is, and no matter where I travel to, as long as I have a device and an internet connection. When the pandemic hit and I was indoors most of the time, regardless of the weather, this was a lifesaver. If I find a workout video I like, I'll watch it over and over and over. But one thing that I wasn't even aware was an issue for me is the fact that if I'm watching the same videos every day, the instructors cheerleading and little jokes would start to become incredibly repetitive and start to drive me almost violently bonkers, like just up the wall. For that reason, my favorite fitness YouTubers are the ones who do not speak during their workouts. That sounds mean, but it's the truth. After I found my ideal exercise, number 3 was that I had to decide what my bare minimum was and to do that every single day so that I wouldn't lose momentum. I really think that it's imperative to do something every day because when I tried to do that whole 3-day-a-week thing, it was too easy to say, oh, I'll I'll skip Monday and just do that workout on Saturday or something. And we all know what happens on Saturday. So my current bare bones minimum is 1 workout video of any length and sit-ups. So far, I have done sit-ups every day for almost 6 weeks, and I am determined to not break that chain. But most days I do that, and I walk at least 10,000 steps a day, which is not challenging as long as I pay a bit of attention to the pedometer app on my phone. And if I get more than 10,000, awesome. If all I do is 10,000, oh well, it's okay. I tend to do best with numerical targets that I have to hit instead of time-based activities. So for example, if I say that I'm going to work out for 30 minutes, then we have to decide what working out is. And with that, I feel like it's easier to find loopholes. But if I say I have to do X amount of steps or X amount of miles, then that works better for me and it's more difficult for me to cheat. My 4th thing was to find external motivation without actually committing to another person. So the old advice was to find a workout buddy. And that does work if you're both equally committed and invested. But what usually ends up happening is one or both of the people will start to flake out. It's just human nature. So for that reason, and because I'm a loner anyway, I use apps to keep me engaged. And the app that I'm using right now is called Sweatcoin, and it counts your steps, and it gives you currency, aka sweat coins, which you can use to buy stuff later. And to be honest, the merchandise they offer on this app aren't really all that interesting to me, but I do like seeing how much free money I can accumulate. And the number 5 thing I've done is found an outdoor sport that I didn't hate. Chicago, let me tell you, is glorious in the summer, but I hate sports. And I used to want to do roller derby, and I even practiced with a roller derby team for a while, but I realized that I really don't care about roller derby so much. I just want to skate. So although I could go to a rink, I prefer to skate outdoors. And I love the feeling of the wind and the sun on my face as I'm cruising around, and I love people watching. Also, it's free to skate outdoors, so there's that. Number 6 is that I don't obsess about what the scale says. I used to be really bad about this. I would weigh myself every day, even multiple times a day. Oh, I pooped, let me weigh myself. So nowadays I do weigh myself, but only once a week tops, and that's usually on Wednesdays. Sometimes I have to put a post-it note on the scale as a reminder of my next weigh-in date so that I don't just start hopping on the scale whenever. And in general, I know that it's just a lot healthier to look at the way my clothes fit. The 7th and last major thing I've been doing is celebrating small wins. If I work out for X days in a row, or if I attend a fitness class instead of being such a hermit, I will celebrate that by giving myself something little, like a face mask. But going back to not being obsessed by the scale, I don't reward myself or punish myself if the scale doesn't say what I want it to, because sometimes that's just out of my control. I only reward myself for my actions. So ladies, as you can see, maintaining my figure is definitely a work in progress, and I'm constantly making little tweaks here and there, but for right now, I am good. Yes. Please leave me a comment and let me know about your workout regimen. And please watch for part 2 of this video where I discuss my diet. And if you've enjoyed this video, I hope you will like and subscribe. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching.